Alright guys, today we will be recording how I would make the Treaty of Versailles. So, as we all know, the Treaty of Versailles led to World War II, but I will jot down the borders of what I think should be the Treaty of Versailles, and we will get straight into the video. So first of all, this is how the Treaty of Versailles looked like, and this is how the borders of Europe looked like before World War One. Yep. So here's exactly what we're gonna do. So friends, obviously we're gonna want to take Alsace-Lorraine. I'm not gonna go against that claim, and I'm gonna give that straight to them. So that's our first part of the border done. So Alsace-Lorraine is now French territory. So we're just gonna want to color that in. Okay, now that France has Alsace-Lorraine, right? So, first of all, on the Eastern Front, Russia has just collapsed, so we're going to want to change that. Let's say we're going to want to set up a new Polish state. So remember, in the Treaty of Versailles, Poland didn't actually gain all this territory. They got all this territory from invading Russia. So we're just going to jot down our borders. Of what I think should be given to Poland. So first of all, I think they should probably get up to here. And we'll probably put it up to the Livatsk line and move it here this way. And now we're going to want to jot this down as a new state. So now we have a brand new Polish state here. But we're going to also want to expand it into Germany a bit. So now we're probably going to want to give it sea access. But we're going to want Germany to keep Danzig, because that's going to lead to another war. So obviously we're probably going to want to give it access to here, but Danzig's probably going to remain German. But we're going to get Poland a port here. So that's what they're going to have to use. But remember, we're going to also want to remember the ethnic lines, because Polish people, they live all the way down here as well. So we're going to want to jot down, make Poland also have everything up to here. And with, so down here, oh yeah, we're going to get to this later, but right now we're just focusing on Poland. We're going to want to give Poland a bit of this in compensation for not getting Danzig a bit. Okay, so we're going to want to give this part to Poland. But we're going to let Germany keep a lot of Prussia. Okay, so that's going to be our borders for now. Okay, so there, that's Poland done for. Okay, so now Germany, right? They have lost not quite that much land, but now they're gonna gain land. We're gonna want to unite them with Austria, because first of all, they're both German, and that's gonna stir less resentment if they're in one single entity. So first of all, we're just gonna want to color this in. Okay, so now that Germany controls Austria, we're going to want to give Italy some land. So, in Italy's participation in the war, we will give them all of Tyrol. And I would probably give them this much land, but I would not give them Fiume because there is barely a large Italian majority living there. So we will be giving them all of this, pretty much their historical claims. Alright, so that's Italy done on Austria-Hungary. But Austria-Hungary collapsed. So first of all, let's just signify Austria-Hungary is part of Germany now. Alright, now that Germany and Austria have been united, okay, now this leaves us with the problem of Czechia. Well, obviously, it can easily be fixed by withdrawing them from this federation. There we go. So we'll just draw the line straight here. And here we go. We're gonna have a new Czech state that's gonna probably be democracy, but I would not merge them with Slovakia as they are two different ethnicities and should be separated. Now, all the way down to Galicia. First of all, I would also expand Poland a bit more here into Katowice so then they could have access to this land here, and we will give Poland everything up to this line. So Poland's gonna expand a lot into the south here. So now Poland's land has nearly doubled. So, but now we're gonna want to move down to Hungary. It's too big of a Hungary to exist, so obviously we're gonna want to give I decide that Serbia can annex Bosnia, but Croatia should be separated from the rest of the state. Okay, so now that we have Croatia done, we are going to want to move in to secure Serbia's borders into Bosnia. Okay, so now that's the majority of the Balkans done. Now immediately we're going to want to give Serbia most of this, but we will not unite it with Montenegro, and we will be giving Montenegro land actually. Because Serbia, Montenegro has joined the war on the side of Entente, but I think that Montenegro should gain some land in the end because, well, you know, because they're small, and you gotta treat small states with kindness. Alright, anyway, now that we have given Montenegro land here, we're gonna want to give Serbia all of Bosnia. Oops. Alright, there we go. So now we can easily color all of this in. And here we have a larger Montenegro than usual. Just let me get rid of this little side effect here. Alright, now with that done, we're gonna want to move on. Oh wait, no, not done yet. We're gonna want to move on to Romania, in Transylvania actually. So first of all, we're gonna want to give Romania all of Transylvania. So that means we're also going to want to give them this area as well, though. That means all of this land right here, I believe. And that's not all, because we're also going to want to give them all of Eastern Banat over here. So we're just going to want to fix up these borders. Okay, yeah, that should be about right. Okay, now that Romania has access to all of Transylvania and Banat, so they're getting extra land. Hold up, that's not all of Banat, so East Banat, I meant. Let's also give Serbia this land right here, past the Danube, to secure their capital. Okay, so now let's start coloring this in. We're also, since Russia has also collapsed, we're also going to want to give them a lot of land. So now that's a Hungarian-Slovakian Union over there, but we're going to want to separate them in a second. Alright, there, that's Transylvania done. And we gave Hungary a bit of land here, which is supposed to belong to Yugoslavia, but we'll leave it be for now. Alright, so now we're going to want to separate Slovakia and Hungary, so let's just get that going. But we're going to want to let Hungary keep Carpatho, Ukraine, because the people there speak Hungarian, so there we go. We got a Hungarian state that's just sitting over here. Slovenia, let's probably merge it with Croatia right now. As they can't, well, they probably don't want to stay united with the Austrians, and they need protection against the Italians, so they're probably going to want to join Croatia. Alright, now there we go. Okay, so for Bulgaria, we're going to want to let Greece take, let's say all the land up to here. There we go. So like the historic win. But I'd say the Ottoman Empire, they shouldn't have lost as much land here. So in compensation for that, we're going to want to give Greece all of the land up to Constantinople and Galilopi. Alright, now that we have Greece done, that's Bulgaria dealt with. I wouldn't give Romania southern Dobruja because not much Romanians live there. So like, and Romania's land's doubled already, so they probably wouldn't need that. Alright, so next we're probably going to give them all the Bessarabia to Romania because the people here are Romanian and they speak Romanian. I think. Yeah, because like Moldovans, they're similar culture. And if they stayed in an independent state, they probably wouldn't last very long, so they're going to want to unite with Romania. Alright, so in Finland, they should probably just gain independence right now. Alright, any borders there? Nope. Alright, so independent Finland it is. Alright, there we go. So next, let's give the Baltic states independence. We'll probably give Lithuania all of this. But we're not going to give it Vilnius because that's, they're a starter state, so, starter state. Anyway, that's Lithuania dealt with. I'd say Latvia get all this, and Estonia this. Estonia. I'll be right back. Alright, my bad, gang. Alright, anyway, back to the Lithuania here. Russia probably would invade Belarus and Ukraine if I gave them independence, and the same thing in the Caucasus. But we're still going to want to give Turkey some land here. Alright, so here we're only going to do the Treaty of Versailles in Europe and not in Africa or Asia. I'm probably going to do a follow-up video on that, but right now we're only going to do Europe. Oh yeah, forgot about this. Alright, so now we will handle the French and British mandates in the Middle East. So immediately, let's give France all of the Levant region. Actually, no. Let's let Turkey keep most of that region. And we're going to reduce France's borders to, I'd say, about here. And then give all of this to France. Along with, this. Alright, well over here, the British are going to gain all the land that they desire up to Iraq and plus. So now, this way, the Turks won't have to worry about the Kurds anymore, and the colonial masters will. Anyway, oh yeah, border issue here. Alright, so here are the borders. Looks ugly. I know. I drew this by hand. I mean, like, guys, can you do better? Alright, anyway, forget about that offense, and that's the end of this video.